Hello everybody. Today my thermocouple had arrived from Banggood. I ordered this one. I'm going to be needing a couple of thermocouples for special projects. This one is using the MAX6675 sensor. Right here we get a close-up look at that. And I paid $3.66 for this setup right here. Buying more than $50 worth of stuff, got you free shipping and whatnot. Gonna be putting this into the ESP32, writing up a quick program. What I really want to know more than anything is how accurate this is. I want to make sure, I'm not looking for like 1/10 of a degrees or anything, and I want to make sure that within, I would hope within a degree Celsius, based on some projects that I'm working, I'm looking for a couple hundred degrees, going down to ambient temperature in both instances that can react to the temperature with an output to a driver board that's going to be connected to this. Now, I'm not going to be worried about that right now. We're just going to look for a serial output on this and look at the information as we poll it. So we're going to get this all set up right quick. We're going to write a quick program, and then we're going to take some other devices that I have to measure the temperature of this to see how close we're getting between the actual temperature of the metal and what we see on the serial interface. So let's get started. Keep a million of these ribbon connectors around. Order these on Amazon. There are 5 of them. You can see not the greatest quality with regard to the soldering job here. Again, for the price, not what I'm really looking for. I just want to know that it works. I'm going to disconnect this while I make my connections in case I mess up. The first order of business will be my 3.3 volts and my ground. I've got those in. I'll work on the next 3 wires now. I've now added the rest of the pins in accordance with the data sheet. Everything's connected. I could plug the ESP32 back in to USB power and serial connection. You notice I haven't plugged the thermocouple in yet. I'm not concerned about that right now. Initially, I installed a library that was provided by Adafruit, thinking that was going to provide for the greatest compatibility for this chip. However, upon installing it, I noticed that there was an error showing that delay.h showed no such file or directory. I Googled it and found that this is a problem when you're not using an Arduino. It's not going to work for the ESP32, so I didn't bother. Instead, I used this library, which was written by Yurii Salimov, and this one appeared to work on a quick program. We'll take a look at this library and then we'll proceed onward. This library is extremely straightforward, does exactly what it has to do and nothing more. It goes right off the specifications of the chip to read the serial interface, bringing signals high and low as required to get that output, returns that output as Celsius, and also provides for an ability to convert that output into Fahrenheit or Kelvin. Nothing more, nothing less, does exactly what it's got to do. Perfect. The board is annotated positive or negative, the wires red and blue. Doesn't clearly indicate which goes where. I actually did have to look online to find out what the correct order was, and it appears this is the correct way to wire it up. I currently have the terminal showing the output of the thermocoupler as I have the flir camera showing what I'm seeing here, and it's almost as if we could see it's showing it to be a little bit hotter right by the sensor, and I don't know if the tip is like, I can't tell. I'll bring that in a little bit. Maybe it's reflection or something. But we're seeing about 27 degrees centigrade over here. And we're seeing at the same time about 22, 23 degrees over there. However, if I look at the thermometer using this method, I'm seeing about 24.4. I'm going to say that sadly, since the AC in this room is set for 77 and the thermometer on the right is hitting 76.5 to 77, that the thermometer on the right is probably correct and the flir is reading a bit high. Very strange. Maybe the flir just can't zoom in on something metallic or whatever, but I think it's also the ambient too that it's off on. I've condensed the example program that came with the thermocouple, removing the Kelvin that I didn't need, and I'm going to add in some support for the internal LED. We're going to build upon that once it's finished. So I modified the program here for a bit, temporarily disabling the capturing of the temperature just to demonstrate the usage of the PWM to make the LED turn on and off. And we could see that the basically what happens in a loop is the duty cycle goes from 0 to 255. It's because it's using 8-bit resolution. And then when it gets all the way to the height of its intensity, it works its way all the way back down to 0, and the cycle repeats itself. Temperature is pretty much doing nothing because, It's not capturing that. Ideally, what I want to do here is establish, as I turn the temperature back on, something that I could use, maybe grab onto the thermocouple and see what the low range is and the high range is, and then convert that to a 0 to 255 duty cycle and see if just holding on to it can make the LED brighten, let go of it, and make the LED go dark again. See if we could do that. I realized that I should have done this earlier, but whatever. Right now, this is the ambient temperature. It's just sitting there hanging off the desk. We're looking at about 24.5 degrees centigrade, and I'm going to grab onto it now, and we're going to see what the temperature changes. I'm going to see how high we can get this thing to go. Looks like 31.5 is about as high as I could get holding it in my fingers. Maybe just sometimes a little bit over 31.5. We're going to use those as the parameters for this early test. So here's the program. It is extremely bare bones. I just wrote it to show this example. We could see that it goes and takes that difference that I had shown in temperature was a difference of 7 degrees Celsius. I had divided that from the amount of duty cycle, 255, to get 7, and divided that to get 36. With my starting point, which is really a bad way of doing this, but again, just an example. We started at 24.5, subtracted that from the current temperature, which can change, which means that it falls into negative sometimes. That's okay. I get that number, multiply it by 36, and that becomes our duty cycle. So if you think about it, if the current temperature is 24.5 degrees, and you subtract 24.5 degrees, you get 0 degrees, multiplied by 36, you get 0. Okay, so that's 0 duty cycle. And for each one that you go up, you're going up by 36, a value of 36 for the duty cycle. And you do that 7 times would take you to in and around the full duty cycle for the LED. So that's basically how this works. Because it's not perfect, if it's less than 0, I turn it to 0. And if it's greater than 0, I bring it down to 255. I take that duty cycle value and write it directly to the LED channel, delay 200 seconds, rinse, wash, repeat. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to hold it in my hand, and we're going to watch the DC value on the computer here is on the right, and that's the duty cycle value. And we can see that as it goes up, the LED is going to start to get brighter along with the temperature. As high as it could go is in and around 255 at around 31.5 degrees. Again, I wrote it quick. There's no second temperature as a reference temperature, so this is as good as it gets in a couple lines of code. So now we're looking at about the full intensity, and now I'm going to go and take this temperature sensor and I'm going to put it in this glass of cold water, and I'm going to watch the temperature start to drop, and the light's going to get dimmer. Resolution is not too great. It's by a factor of, 36. So it's not very smooth, but it does demonstrate how it works. It's almost extinguished now. There you go. It's just about extinguished, and now it's out. So we go. There's a demonstration of it working with the internal LED. To close the loop on this project today, I've added a PCA 9685 I2C driver board. This is a 16 port driver board. I'm only connecting one servo to it, and right now it's running a diagnostic that I was using to find the extremes that I'm going to use in the program and make sure I don't overrun this servo here. Never used this one before. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate this servo into the existing project, so that what we can do is, as the temperature changes, not only will the LED illuminate as it gets hotter, but we can make some sort of rudimentary mechanical output that I can put a piece of paper on the backing of this piece of plastic that I've mounted this into to show what the actual temperature is by moving the needle to the appropriate location on there. Let's do that now. I've temporarily modified the program again. This time I've used the map function to map the positions of the servo from 0 degrees centigrade to 100 degrees centigrade in 5-degree increments. And what I've done is take those values and have the program move the servo every 2 seconds into the positions over here so that I can write it down. I've already written down 0, as you can see, and I'm gonna make the delay longer so I can annotate them on this piece of cardboard. We can see that the servo positions over here show its location as it's drawn. Okay, so now we're gonna tie this whole program together. Analog input, the digital conversion, the analog output on the other side with the servo. I have all of the values here, and I was slightly off with the servo measurement for the top end. It was actually supposed to be around 550, not 600, so I lose a little bit of resolution, a little bit of inaccuracy, but that's okay. So we're looking at the computer right now. We're seeing about 24, and over here we're seeing between 20 and 30. There's a little bit of parallax here. I'll try and correct for it, but that's okay. It serves a purpose. And we're gonna light this up now. We'll watch both of them as we do it. We can see that the servo and the display behind the servo is aligned very nicely to what we're seeing on the computer monitor, almost to the degree, pretty much. And the point is obviously that we wouldn't have this piece of paper here which says, you know, hit the like button, helps me out a lot when you do, and subscribe and share, but also that you could use a driver to run applications that would open up vents, open and close hot water, cold water valves, gas valves, what have you, to do a number of helpful things to regulate temperature, not just display temperature. We can see the temperature starting to drop now, just under 70, as clearly displayed here. So they line up very nicely, considering this is just a quick little hack job here to put this together with a map command that's not even correct. Again, like I said, it stops at 550. And I got it at 600, so there is some resolution loss. We can see that it does stop at 90 degrees, as I wrote. It doesn't go to 100. But it does the job to display how something like this works, how you get some value out of these thermocouplers and drivers. So that pretty much wraps this up. This little project here to display the functionality of these boards here, these designs, is 6675, coupled together with some other things like this 9685. And things that you could do. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button, subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Would you like to reply?